Okay, today we're playing a game on Watchpoint Gibraltar. We are in the Platinum SR range, and we will be playing McCree and Sombra. To what extent we're playing both, I don't really know, because I haven't watched the video ahead of time. For all I know, the second half of this video could just be a gif of Roadhog twerking, and I won't know until we get there. But that's okay. I'm just trusting the email on this one. Oof, messed up the jump, unfortunate. To be honest, like, standing up there is overrated. You don't get to stand up there for very long, usually. But sometimes you get to gank people when they come around the corner, and that feels nice. Oh, Mercy's gonna do it. Mercy's gonna do it. Mercy's gonna do it. Mercy players are pretty legendary like this, where they'll see that the guy just died, and they're like, I gotta res him. Regardless of the threat that the person that just killed him still causes. They see the guy get killed by Widowmaker right out in the middle of the field, and they're like, well, I gotta res him, though. And then they get shot by the Widowmaker, and they're like, I don't understand. It feels like the pro players never die when they go for wild reses. What the fuck? Anyway. So they got their pharmacy not proven to be too much of a problem so far. They've not even managed to push it under us just yet, so everything's going good so far. They're still on, like, the 3 parking stage of the map right now, and they've barely made any progress. So we've almost got Deadeye built up. It's going pretty good. Alright, they're going down now. Our tanks have just jumped down straight onto them, which is not really recommended, but is what they've chosen to do. I didn't really like this flashbang because what's it ever going to really accomplish, right? Even if it stuns that Mercy, we're not in a position to do anything about it. At that point, if it does stun her, we're like hoping someone on our team does something, and you can't trust your teammates. We have to reposition anyway right now, so not the end of the world. Actually ended up kind of being a deal, actually, because that Reinhardt was not ours. That just, like, skirted by us right there. That'd be a good one to flashbang, but we don't have the flashbang because we just used it. So it's, oh, Mercy's out in the open. Oh. Okay, alright, it could have gone better. Alright, we got her. It's okay. I don't care about aim. You know, can we click on the men better? Sure, you can always click on the men better. That's not my problem. You gotta work on that one on your own time. So we're going back up top again. A little harder to hold this point once you've your team's been pushed backwards, so you tend to end up having to give up on it again pretty quickly, but we can probe out for a little bit, see what happens. What happens is we have to come back, you know. Oh, we're going up top, okay. So they've still got the pharmacy. I still don't really feel like they're getting too much done with the pharmacy, but it is what they're going with. Soldiers coming around. I didn't like how we did a little second peeksy there. Because we, like, duck, and then we go back out again. We just get shot more. Like, he's still shooting at us, you know? Like, he's going to keep shooting. That was pretty much going to be bad regardless. We had a flashbang, so, but she reacted pretty fucking fast, so I'd be impressed if we got her there. So I didn't like the little second peek there. Better to just, like, stay behind the cover, basically. Poke around the other side, you know. He's already shooting there. He's going to keep shooting. You got to give it a little bit of extra time. So we're losing the first checkpoint, it looks like. That's okay. First checkpoint on Gibraltar. You know, you can win on the first checkpoint, but Gibraltar is a very unique map in that you can actually win on any of the checkpoints, realistically. You can't say that about many Overwatch matches. So we would love to use Deadeye right there, but Soldier was using Tac Visor, so it wasn't really on the cards for us right there. Yeah, you know. Ooh. Hey, we got her. She's gonna get res, but hey, we got her. It's getting pretty spooky. Realistically, the play here is just die faster, in all honesty. Because we're not getting out, pretty much. So, like, you might as well just go down and see if you can, like, fan the hammer into the Mercy. Maybe you get a kill, whatever. The plan is more just to die faster to reconvene with the team. Unfortunately, that didn't get the stun. Must have been, like, an inch out. It's, again, looking pretty bad right now. This is just Gibraltar for you, though, right here. They've not even captured the second checkpoint. They're already fighting over the third checkpoint. That's some classic Gibraltar right there. We're actually going to get back out here to maybe contest it again. Isn't that incredible? Ooh. I mean, like, we could have gone for... No, we didn't have our roll. Never mind. Our roll wasn't actually up. My plan was, we could have rolled through the door and tried to get him with the flashbang, but the roll wasn't actually up, so we weren't going to be doing any such thing. I guess I'm fine with just getting D.Va's mech. You know, like, it's about the most you could probably ask for, really. Anything more would be greed. You gotta be careful with Deadeye, because you go for too much, and then you end up getting nothing. I'm very familiar with that one. This is an extremely hard angle to fight the Pharah from. I honestly don't even want to fuck with it. Like, this is really hard to kill the Pharah from this angle, that I don't even actually want to fuck with it. I'd rather we, like, disengage and just try and find a better angle to try and deal with that from. Because we're, like, looking straight up at her. That's a hard one to pull off. Pharah has a huge advantage over us. It's, like, not even really worth trying to take the fight right there. Because you're really just hoping you get, like, 2 lucky headshots, you know? Like, just disengage and, like, try and find a better angle, but, like, realistically, we're probably just waiting for her to move, and we're just playing conservatively until then. So we lose that checkpoint. It's fine. It's fine. It's okay. It's getting, you know, the farm, they're starting to pull it together now, after they managed to get over their initial troubles at the start. Pharah's up top. I assume we're gonna go up top after we get the health kit. Yep. So, she's gone. That's okay. We can stay up here anyway. This is fine. Little spooky. Little spooky. Okay, we got healed. Sometimes you're stood up. Oh, fucking hell. She's not messing around, huh? I mean, look, sometimes Pharah ults you, right? Like, sometimes you get got, right? Sometimes Pharah just comes over the ledge and ults you point blank. If you can react in time to that, good on ya. Good on ya. Ryan, brother, my man. Looking right at the shield, and he says, I can do it. He didn't do it. He didn't do it. He didn't do it. Oh, we saved him. Well, I mean, he's dead anyway, but, like, we saved him for an extra... He got, like, 1 melee attack in because we stunned him. Ooh, I like that... I was like... Because, of course, because we're not in-game, I was like, oh, we just changed into Tracer. It was a very smooth transition. But, of course, we can't see the menu, can we? So we end up losing the round, unfortunately. To be honest, I don't see there was much you do about that one. Like, there were some pretty, like, catastrophic events going on altogether. What were our tanks? I'm gonna go all the way back. What were our tanks on the first checkpoint? Yeah, Zarya D.Va. It felt like it. And then, did they change at any... I mean, obviously that guy was Ryan in the end. He changed there. Yeah, by this point we've already lost a lot of ground. Like, this is the thing when you're defending. Like, when you're attacking, you can, like, get away with running, like, weird tank combos more easily. Because you don't have to keep holding the ground, right? Like, you're taking ground instead. When you have to hold ground, running like Zarya D.Va is a lot worse. Because it's just really hard to slow the enemy team down if you don't have, like, that kind of frontline presence. So anyway, we're still McCree on the second round, at least right at the start. I'm curious what prompts us to change to Sombra. Because right now they haven't got, like, anything I'd be like, yeah, we should go Sombra for. Your aim's pretty good. Like, high gold, low plat, you said in the email. Your aim's, like, pretty good for that kind of range. You know, we had a little bit of the troubles earlier, but overall your aim's pretty good. Yeah, so again, this is a hard angle to take a fight with, especially since she's also got a Mercy with her. This is again a situation where we're more or less hoping to get lucky. And sometimes that happens, but you gotta bear in mind that, like, to even take this fight with her, we're having to stand out in open space, which is not what you want to do. We're, like, completely neglecting our positioning here, because we're just standing out in open space. So then when soldiers start shooting us, well, we're kind of fucked by the time we realize we have to do something about it. So we're just changing the Sombra now. I'm curious what the reason is. I'm not really bothered that we changed the Sombra. Sombra's fine. I'm just curious what the reasoning is on that one. I guess just to try and, like, do stuff like this, right? It feels like we're having trouble taking ground, so we're just trying to be up to no good, basically. Behind them, draw some aggro back, I assume, because it feels like we're not doing so good just, like, fighting on the front line. Okay, to be honest, I like that we just started shooting at him instead, because most people would hack the soldier right there. It's not really the end of the world if soldier gets hacked, right? He's not super dependent on his abilities to fight you. They help, obviously, but if you start hacking the soldier can just put the biofield down, and then before the hack goes through, and, like, you're not killing him anymore. So really, you're better off just trying to kill the guy before he even has time to react, right? So now, ooh, she just got hit by, so close. She got hit by the fire strike, so it was looking real good, but unlucky, didn't quite get her. So soldier's using tack visor right now. Okay, he didn't get anybody out of that. Ooh, yeah. So what I will say about how we're playing Sombra is that it's kind of taking us a long time to get back out again. Like, we've spent a lot of time kind of, like, setting up to make plays rather than, like, trying to actually make the plays. So it's not great, like, how long it's taking us to get back out again after we, like, restock. I do like putting the translocator behind that second point, because most people, they're going to check this room for... This is like a classic Sombra spot, right? Most people are going to check the health kit, and if they don't see a translocator on the health kit, they're going to stop checking at that point. Most people are not going to check behind that second server. So I like the positioning on that, because most Sombras do just put it, like, right on the health kit. Okay, alright. Yeah, you know. Oh, very brave to just keep fighting it out for a second after that as well. I do agree, really, that, like, you're probably better off just trying to kill Anna before she has time to react as well. Oh, we forgot to reload, didn't we? Alright, we did that earlier as well. You gotta bear in mind, you know, when you go back to resupply, you gotta reload as well, you know? Not like Tracer. Recall doesn't reload ya, unfortunately for Sombra. So we've got Emp built up now. Okay, alright. Ooh. Okay, alright, that works. You know, we'll take it, honestly, given how low we saw Anna was right there, should have tried a little harder for it. Like, Sombra's not great at that range, obviously, but, like, there's not a lot of cover up there. You could probably drop Anna really low, and if you dropped her low enough, we could even consider just, like, throwing our translocator over there to try and finish her off. So we drop down, we use Emp. This is, like, what we're planning to do. Our translocator's broken, isn't it? So we just end up dying, straight away there. We weren't full health either, but, like, by a fairly minor amount. What actually, like, even did all that damage to us? We did die really quickly. The soldier just, like, fucking got us, I guess. Good job. But we did die, like, surprisingly quickly, to be fair. I would have been like, oh, Jesus Christ. So, Sombra didn't end up working out very much. I imagine the intent was... Oh, no, they're talking about Sombra right now. In the chat. Oh, fuck, that ended very dramatically, or very abruptly. Let's, what we got here? We got The Bottom Tier. This is about fighting games, but Leon Massey is very funny, so you might get something out of it even if you're not really into fighting games. Don't even know who this is. Hook Gang God, like, I know who that is, but I don't watch his YouTube. I don't know what the fuck this is about, but yeah, Jump Force looks pretty bad. Misshapen Chair, this is Final Fantasy XIV. Mandalore's great. Game review stuff, very good, entertaining, recommend. Noah Gervais is also very good, but, like, all his videos are, like, feature length. So, you know, maybe not for you, but I'm a big fan. One of my favorite YouTubers, actually. Don't know who this is, but I can see we're making fun of DSP, so that's good. That means it's a good video. Don't know who this is. It's about fighting games. Kizzy K is good. Fighting games again. There's a lot of fighting games you might have noticed slipping in there. What the fuck is this? Just based off this, it looks very fan servicey, but I don't know. So hold on, let me come over here into the email real quick. Because I think there was a question. Let's see, is there something I could have done better? Was staying on McCree the right choice second round, or were there better options? So, I mean, I think you could have taken it a few different ways. McCree would have been fine. Anyway, it's kind of hard for McCree to be the wrong choice. He's just one of those characters that you can, like, put a square peg into a round hole with, right? McCree's kind of fine in most circumstances. Given how, like, the tank situation was, it's still justified to change to, like, a more independent hero than McCree is. So, like, any of the flankers, really. Sombra does count. Soldier, if we want to go for the same kind of line as McCree, but, like, a little bit less dependent on, like, a tank line, because Soldier's just, like, with Biofield, he's tankier than most people are. You can just kind of try and fight it out with people. I don't feel like you changed the outcome of this game. Like, the first point was going good, but then eventually they, like, got it together, and then, like, not having an actual main tank became a very strong hindrance to us after that point. And then by the time we got the Reinhardt, we kind of slowed him down a little bit at that point, but it's already so far gone by that point, you know? Yeah, like, McCree would have been fine. Sombra would have, like, Sombra's also fine. The flankers in general would have done alright. Soldier would have done alright. You could have, like, I don't know if you can, but you could have done, like, Widow or Ashe, you know? Like, it didn't... You could have taken it a bunch of different ways, like, on the second point, well, first both rounds, to be honest with you, and they would have all been fine, really. I think it mostly just comes down to personal preference. Like, if you're personally just more comfortable playing, like, McCree, so, like, whatever, like, sticking on it would have been fine. I do wonder what the thought process was on the Sombra. I'm guessing it was just to try and take aggro from the front line, kind of try and pull people back, which Sombra's fine for. Yeah, I wouldn't, like, I was thinking maybe Genji, but, like, let's be real, you know, what were we really going to achieve with Genji, right? Especially against, like, a Pharah. Yeah, Sombra, if you're going to go with a flanker, Sombra is probably the best choice, because she also gets to try and fuck with the, Pharah as well, which none of the other flankers really do. Tracer does a little bit. But Sombra's definitely better if you have to play against a Pharah and you still gotta pick a flanker for whatever reason. I would have probably stuck it on McCree or changed the Soldier, but it would have largely been personal preference. I don't think you changed the outcome of this game, though, unless, well, to be fair, so, like, you do have to always attach this caveat when the person is playing, like, McCree or Widow or Ashe, where theoretically, you could have won this game if you had played like an absolute god and got like 18 headshots in a row, you know, like there is always that possibility when you're playing someone like McCree, but realistically, the things that were going on in this game, you didn't really have a huge amount of control over. There is a case to be made for picking a tankier DPS on the first round as well, because the front line is running, it was Zarya D.Va, right? It was 2 off tanks. Either way, we weren't running a very good front line, so there's a case to be made there that it would be better to pick, like, Mei or Reaper. They were playing Pharah, so Mei over Reaper. But there's a case to be made there, because if you're running, like, 2 bad tanks and you're playing DPS, you know, the best you can do is you can either, like, try not to worry about it pretty much, and you just play around cover or play a more independent hero. Or you can try and pick someone like May or Reaper to try and sort of help it out, because like they're like half tanks, right? So they can kind of help with that situation. There's a case to be made for that, but I don't think that it would have worked out in this game. I think you would have been mostly just sad if you did go for that, because they were playing like long-range heroes. So if you were playing those, you're really hoping you just get to bully around their front lines so much that their long-range heroes didn't matter. But there is a case to be made for that, but I wouldn't have done it personally. Yeah. So that's what I got for you on that one. And like, for McCree, like, you pretty much played McCree. Not much to say. Could you have clicked him better? Sure. You know, every game you'll be able to click them better, though. There's never going to be a game where you were at peak clicking them. Humans just aren't like that. Sombra, we forgot to, like, check our ammo a few times. Sombra's gun has a really long reload animation, so, you know, careful. Don't do that. You were a hovering Tracer at the start of this game, so I'm guessing you play Tracer, and it's just some sort of, like, crossover thing where Sombra and Tracer are just similar enough that, like, you kind of forgot to keep track of Sombra's ammo closely, but you gotta try and keep track of that. It also took us, like, a long time to get back into the action while we're playing Sombra. Like, we took a long time to set up, because we're playing around, like, the big health kit in the back. We also kept playing around that big health kit. To be fair, Gibraltar doesn't, first checkpoint at least, doesn't have many health kits to play around, but try and vary your approach, because if you keep playing around the same health kit over and over and over again, you start being really predictable roughly where you're going to come from, right? Because they can see you always translocate back to the same location. It starts to become predictable because that kind of limits the angles you're going to approach from. So try and vary the health kit you play around, and try and pick one that's, like, close to the fight, so that you minimize the amount of time it takes for you to get back out there. Because what you're trying to do with Sombra is you're trying to build your ult charge as quickly as possible. But she also has, like, a setup period, right? So you're trying to keep that setup period as short as you possibly can, so you can get back out there and farm ult charge faster, because that's, like, how you win games as Sombra. You farm ult and then you use Emp. To be fair, Watchpoint Gibraltar's first checkpoint, you don't exactly get a lot of options for health kits. But, like, and it doesn't have to be a big health kit. Like, the small health kit, like, in the staircase room is fine. That's, like, kind of out of the way still. It's pretty safe still. You can put it, like, further down on the stairs. It's mostly out of line of sight. And a small health kit is, like, fine. It doesn't need to be a big health kit. This isn't really the best game to judge the Sombra from on that regard, because, yeah, Watchpoint Gibraltar is just limited. But based off that, you know, be careful about that if it is something you do. So, thank you very much for watching. If you did, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer. If you haven't already, you can join our Discord, ask questions more directly, and have a conversation about them, or just ship post with us. I start streaming on Twitch Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, 8 p.m. EST to 11 EST. There's a link to the channel in the description. Elevator music just started playing in my head. There's a link to the channel in the description. And if you somehow managed to make it all the way through the video and somehow still enjoyed it, please like the video and subscribe for more content of middling quality in the future, and I hope you found the video helpful.